Hey guys, what's up? I'm back, and today I'm going to be talking about that follow-up video that I was talking about on yesterday's video. Now it was the price video of how PC gaming is not that much money. Now this video is also just a general guide of a couple different nice PC builds. In this video I'm going to be including 3 builds for your PC for a PC. There's going to be a starter build that will still do extremely well, a more of a mid-range build that will do very extremely well, and then there will be just a higher end build that's kind of unnecessary, but if you want to go there you can. All of these builds will perform very well, and you'll be able to max out most of your games. So yeah, I'll get into that now because I'm dumb and I didn't pull up the window on my second monitor to look at that, but I'll cut and then I'll pull that up and I'll be right back. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with the next part of the video. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is this is going to be the first out of 3 PC builds that I went and made up on PC Part Picker. It's a website where you can go and configure PC parts, and it will always give you a compatible system for the lowest price possible. So now this is going to be a more of a console crusher PC build, meaning you'll get better performance of a console for about the same price of a brand new console. Now I know that right now the Xbox One and PS4 aren't what they are, the same $350 that they used to be, but that's relatively the price of a console when it comes out. So if we're going to be building a new PC, it's going to be like building a new getting a new console. So basically, the price for this PC is going to be $426, and it's going to be able to run most games pretty well. You'll be able to run games like Counter-Strike, Dota 2, Overwatch, all that perfectly fine on this PC, and even some heavier games. And this PC is mainly going to be run by the brand new AMD. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I just brain farted right there and I forgot I had the computer up on my second monitor. Um, it's the graphics card in this computer is going to be the Gigabyte Radeon RX 460, the 4 gig version from WindForce. It's the OC edition. So that video card is going to come in at $128 on PC Pro Picker, and pretty much that's the new RX 460, and it's more of an esports focused card, but you can still dabble in some higher end gaming too. If you want to get more performance, you can go up to a 470 or 480, but the 480 is only a few more dollars, or it's only like 20, $30 more than the 470. So there's really no reason to only get the 470. Um, so if you're going to be getting a more powerful GPU from the AMD side, you're going to want to go with the RX 480. And then the CPU for this is going to be a bit of an older CPU. It's an AMD FX 6300 clocked at 3.5 gigahertz, and it's a 6-core processor. It's coming in at $99. The next part is going to be a Gigabyte GA DS3P ATX motherboard. Now, you can tell I'm just reading the parts list off. These are just compatible parts. A motherboard in a computer is not gonna affect your performance at all whatsoever. It might if you have like PCI 1 versus PCI 3 and your graphics card's really powerful. But basically, that's the motherboard. You're gonna have one stick of Corsair Vengeance. It's an 8 gig stick, DDR3 at 1600 megahertz, and you're only gonna get one stick. So that way, in the future, if you want to upgrade, which you can do on PC, um, you can put in another 8 gig stick, or even 2 more 8 gigs or 3 more 8 gig sticks. Then the next thing is, if for this price point, you're not going to really be able to get a nice size SSD in there. So what I did instead is I just went with a Western Digital 1 terabyte hard drive. It's going to be $50. It's 1 terabyte hard drive. That's a lot of storage for other games and that. If you need more, you can always just put another one in there, and if it's getting slow, just pop an SSD in there in the future. The next thing is going to be the case, which for this is going to be relatively the same. It's going to be the same case for all the builds, just because the case doesn't matter in a build. It's basically what you want your PC to look like, what kind of airflow do you want to get, and so on. So the case doesn't really matter in the sense of you building the PC and the PC's performance. It might if you want to have the best temperatures and cooling performance, then you might want to pick a case that's more dedicated for that. But other than that, no, the case isn't going to really matter. And then for the power supply, the last and final thing, I chose the EVGA 430 watt 80 plus bronze certified ATX power supply. Pretty much, it's going to be enough power to power all your components well, and you'll have enough power left over if you want to upgrade a little bit in the future. It's not the highest grade power supply, but it's also not the cheapest one. It is 80 plus bronze certified, so that's a really nice thing. So pretty much you can put your Windows on there. You can put. Okay, well that was unexpected. You can put whatever you want on there. It's just personal preference. So I'm gonna be back with the next PC. So see you guys in a second. Peace out. Okay, guys, I'm back with the next PC in this list. Now, this PC is going to be coming in with, it's going to be more pricey. It's going to be an $800 PC, but you're going to be able to max out pretty much every game you have at 60 FPS at 1080p and 1440p. So the first thing is the graphics card again, is the Zotac GeForce GTX 1060. It's a 6 gig card. It is a mini card, so meaning it only has one fan. If you want better cooling performance, go ahead get the bigger version of the card that has two fans on it for better cooling. And pretty much this card is the brand new Pascal GPU from NVIDIA. They did just release a 3 gig version, but honestly, you're only going to need more than 3 gigs if you're doing anything above 1080p. So if you're going to be gaming at 1440p or at anything like 144 hertz or 20 hertz, then you want to get the 6 gig model. The next thing is going to be a Intel Core i5 6500 clocked in at 3.2 gigahertz. It's a Skylake i5. What can I say? It's one of the best CPUs you can get for gaming nowadays. The new Intel Kaby Lake chips are going to be coming out within the next year. So if you really want to wait till then, you can go ahead and these chips might get a little cheaper, or you can just get one of the brand new Kaby Lake chips, and they'll be around the same price as it is now. The next thing the next thing is a Gigabyte GA Z170 LGA 1151 motherboard. Now it's the LGA 1151. That's just the socket. It means it's a Skylake board. It's just a motherboard. It's 114 bucks. It's not that much, or well, you can't really get a cheap motherboard that well for Skylake because they still are the current gen chips. The next thing is going to be 16 gigs of Corsair Ripjaw, or not Corsair Ripjaw, G-Skill Ripjaw V series. You're going to get 2 DIMMs at 8 gig of memory, or two DIMMs of 8 gigs, and that's going to be coming in at $69. And then for the storage, we were able to squeeze in a 128 gig SSD for this one. The only reason why I didn't go for a higher capacity SSD is because the build was already getting more money than I wanted it to be. I wanted to stay in about the $700 to $600 range and just be a little bit cheaper. So you don't need an SSD in there, or you don't need a hard drive in there. Well, you need at least one of them. I would rather go with the hard drive than the SSD just because you're getting the mass storage. But if you decide to go with the SSD, you're going to be running out of storage a lot faster. Keep in mind, if you get something like an SSD, it's not going to work nearly as well. Only do this for like movies and music, but you can always buy a flash drive, high capacity flash drive, and then put the rest of your stuff on that and store everything on that. Now, the next thing is going to be, well, a Western Digital 1 terabyte drive. It's a blue drive. What can I say? That's what I have in my rig. And it's just 1 terabyte. Same thing that's going to be in all the builds. And then after that is the same Corsair spec. And then after that is going to be a 500 watt 80 plus bronze certified EVGA power supply. It's just going to give a bit more power. You'll still be able to upgrade in the future and not have to change out the power supply. So yeah, that's the second build in this list. And now I'm going to be coming back with the third build, which is the most expensive build, the $1,000 build. Okay guys, now we're going to be coming in with the last and final build, the $1,000 build. This exactly costs $1,050. And now the only differences between this build and the last build are going to be the processor and the graphics card. Instead of the i5 from the last build, there is now an i7 6700. You can go with the K version if you want to overclock, but if you're not really looking to overclock, um, you can stick with the stock CPU cooler, and this one's going to be a bit cheaper. If you want to go with the K version, that'll let you overclock and get more performance out of your CPU, which you're really not going to need because it's already an amazing CPU. You're going to be able to overclock, but you will need a better CPU cooler than the stock one that comes in the box with the processor. Everything else is the same except for the video card, which is now a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1070. It's an 8 gig card. It's the G1 gaming version. It's one of the best 1070s that you can get. Once again, it's one of the new Pascal GPUs. Now that's it for the $1,000 build. I mean, there's no other significant changes. You can probably put in a bigger SSD and maybe get the hard drive out. You might only be able to get 500 gig SSD for $100. And even then you're gonna up the price by $50, even if you take out the hard drive. You can go through, you can change all these builds as much as you want. I will leave the I will leave all the parts in the description below, or all the links to the builds. And now the last thing that I wanted to go over was actually my build. And where you can really save money when buying PC parts, which is going to be buying used. Now this is kind of a sketchy topic for a lot of people. I got some of my parts used from a spot where I know that they weren't like abused, overclocked, and that. So pretty much the story of how I got my PC was I had an Alienware 14 laptop, and I still have that laptop. And for Christmas, I wanted to build a PC, but it was going to be, I was thinking it was going to cost like $1,000, $700, and I really didn't want to spend that. And pretty much what ended up happening was my dad at his office, they have a back room that has a bunch of old computers and that in there. And pretty much I got a Dell Inspiron, or yeah, I think it was it was a Dell Precision, Inspiron or Precision T1500, and that had an i7 860, 8 gigs of RAM, and a shit power supply and a shit motherboard. And right now in my rig is 16 gigs of RAM because I found another 8 gigs that was compatible with the 8 that I already had. That same shit motherboard and that old i7 860. So right now, I am running an i7 860, a GTX 960, and 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. I don't have an SSD in here. I plan to get one though. And yeah, I have a 650 watt power supply, so I have a lot of room to upgrade in the future. The next thing I need to upgrade is my CPU and my motherboard mainly. But my point here is that overall, if you were to get this build what I did, I still max out most of my games 60 FPS. Right now, I'm getting 50 on Just Cause 2 while I'm recording, which recording does take a hit on your performance. Normally I get around 70 FPS on this game maxed out without recording, just because it's not the greatest optimized game. You can still get insanely good performance, but also that's weird. If I go into advanced here, I have anisotropic filtering all the way up. If I were to lower this, my frames would skyrocket, which hopefully this doesn't crash. No, I don't think it did. Okay, so now if I go back to resume, wait for the frames to go back up. Okay, maybe it's not gonna go back up. Oh, you know why? Basically, my bottom line here is that I got a PC that would normally cost me around $700 for around $300. and I just crashed the recording, didn't I? No, I didn't. Basically, yeah, the bottom line here is that this PC, with everything that I got a PC that is $300 that can max out all my games that I have. I have 40 games in my Steam library. None of them are really like graphically intensive AAA titles. The biggest one that I have is Doom, which I can run that at medium and still get 70 FPS. While I have an overclock on with my GPU, and so on. And the case, if anybody's wondering, it's an NZXT S340 in white. But that's basically my bottom line. If you know where to buy, don't just go buy everything off eBay used. Don't do that. Because you will make some bad decisions doing that. But if you find a good spot to get used parts, or if you find like if you find somebody on eBay that's trusted, they're a trusted seller and they're selling some nice parts. If you're getting a good discount, check it out. You might just benefit a lot of money. So that's pretty much all for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'm going to be making one more video in the next day or two, and then I'm going to probably just go back to gameplay videos. I just wanted to make this kind of little mini-series about PC gaming, just because there's a lot of people that I know that are on console, and one of the people I know has a gaming PC. It's a very old PC. It can still run games just fine, but he chooses to play on his console. That's absolutely fine by me, but I like to tell him every time I go over his house, I go, why do you play on your console when you got a PC right here? Which for him, I understand all of his friends, all of them, are on a console, not PC. I'm the only friend he has that's on PC, and it's not good. We need to save the console users. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy the video. Look out for another one. Make sure to subscribe and like and comment. So thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.